All right, we are good to go. Rocking and rolling. What up, O? How we doing? Welcome in, welcome in. All right. What up, Richard? Long time no see. Look at me, I even updated the specs command. Edmund, what's up? Welcome in. Look at me, I'm on it. I would have probably built this yesterday or Thursday, but I have been feeling very exhausted since getting home from Loop Fest. So, you know, it was just I just needed a break. But we're here now. We're gonna be building. This is the first of 4 of these systems. They're gonna go live on Jawa. I might see about. I think I want to post them all there just to try and like build my channel on Jawa. So once we get these up, we'll probably have to move over to build some more systems that are ready to ship. We were able to sell the ready to ship system that we had on my website while I was gone, actually. So, you know, hopefully this will be a successful endeavor to you know, sell systems that are ready to ship and, you know, keep supplementing with custom builds, obviously, but you know, doing what we got to do. What up, Warfliper? That build should be expensive. It's less than $2,000. You know, it's not. There are no cheap builds with modern, you know, medium to high-end components these days. Like with RAM and SSD prices and GPU prices going up, there's nothing that's, you know, there's nothing that's super cheap these days with modern components. I mean, you can still build a pretty cheap PC using like AM4 or older Intel CPUs, but yeah, unfortunately, you do what you gotta do. What up, Zinnius? Soul Freaks, David Isaac, Ben Johnson, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. All right, let's talk about today's build. I saw Richard put it in the chat, but let's talk about it here. So we actually went and got some Microcenter bundles on my recent trip. So we've got a Ryzen 5 7600X 3D. It used to be you could only get these at Microcenter. It seems that Newegg has them right now. They're about $300 on Newegg, but 7600X 3D, so 6-core, 12 threads with the 3D V cache. We've got 32 gigs of RAM. This is CL36 6000. We've got a 5060 Ti 16 gig, 240 millimeter cooler, MSI B850 motherboard, and then we've got a 750 watt power supply to power it all, 1 terabyte SSD, and then all this is going inside of the Fantex XT View, which if you guys haven't seen that before or heard that before, it looks basically the same as like the Montec XR or the Thermaltake View 270 Plus. They're all kind of the same sort of build, so I was able to get a really good deal on these Fantex cases, so that's what we're using for this. Yo, what up, Kraken? Good to see you, dude. Thank you for all those likes, my guy. That's medium, and I bet it's expensive. It's under 2,000 bucks, so and that's shipping, everything. Picked up a 9850 X3D for $399 on Newegg. Hey, that's a great deal. That's $100 off. I forgot to grab a water, so maybe we'll do some Dr. Pepper instead, because that's what I have up here. Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar Cream Soda. Usually I just drink these while I'm gaming, but you know. Oh yeah, I wanted like the Deal Busters that's like only available for until like they sell out kind of thing. I'm based in Idaho. How you doing, Kraken? You get some sleep? Oh, thank you, Richard. All right, so that's today's build. We're gonna be doing a few of these, so you know, if you tune into another stream next week, you might see something that looks very familiar because we're gonna be building more of these. But I'm really excited for these ready to ship systems. I think this could be a really good thing for the business. You know, we're definitely doing this to build the brand on Java specifically. And you know, it is going to take a hit on profitability, but it's one of those ways to like get my name out there, get more brand visibility. You know, there's going to be a lot more customers visiting that site than my website. So this is just another way to expand and grow. So I'm pretty excited for this. Price of the RAM. Yeah, the RAM. So the reason why we were able to even do this for the price that we're doing it at is we did a Microcenter bundle. So it's got the CPU, the motherboard, and one of these sticks of RAM all together for like 450 bucks. So we were able to save quite a bit of money because even just 32 gigs of RAM is almost $400 right now. So we were able to save a good amount of money on that bundle deal, which, you know, could make a big difference for the price of the PC overall. $150 liquidation motherboards in testing right now. The RAM came as part of the kit, so it was $450 for the CPU, one stick of 16 gigs of RAM, and the motherboard. Excuse me. Come on, TikTok, scroll for me. Why aren't you scrolling? Heading to Lowe's to try and find a tool to open and fix the Canon AE1 camera. Uh-oh, what happened? Oh, you got the camera, it was already broken. Gotcha. Newegg return pallets. Interesting. Might have to look into that. Where do you, is that like, do you find that directly through Newegg, or where do they sell that stuff? Imagine saving up money to buy a GPU and price gone up double. The GPU prices haven't gone up double, unless you're looking at like the 5090, but GPU prices have gone up a bit, but definitely not double. None of them have gone up by double, unless liquidation.com. Interesting. Interesting. Do you get a good deal on those? Shutter button won't work. I think it's sticking. Interesting. 4 to 8K for a pallet with 150 boards in it. It's a pretty decent deal. Assuming they work. Yeah, you'll have to let me know how that works out for you. Yeah, the GPUs aren't what has doubled in price. It's the RAM and SSDs. RAM is up almost 4x. You got a 5070 on a bid site for 400 bucks, brand new. Hey, that's a nice deal. See, that's the kind of stuff that, like, doing the ready to ship builds, I can hunt for deals a little bit more than like using the custom builds, you know? Is that the right height? Okay. All right, MSI B850. So this is, you know, it's a budget-friendly board. Like, these are, you know, right around just under 200 bucks. But they're solid. Like, they've got, you know, they've got VRM cooling. They've got Gen 5 support. You know, multiple PCIe ports. You know, it's not a super high-end board, but again, this isn't a super high-end system. This is definitely going to do the trick for this build. What about 5080 or 5070 Ti? Mixture of stuff, about 30% are good to go, 50% need a pin to be tweaked, about 20% need new sockets. Ooh, that's a lot of work. It's like a full-time job to deal with all that stuff. Got a 5070 Ti, 3080 Ti, and 7800 XTX working with one dead. Yeah, that's not bad. This build is gonna be for sale for a little under 2,000 bucks. Did you guys see that Intel is releasing a like new version, or I don't know what you call it, like a refresh of their Core Ultra series, and they're going to be cheaper. They're going to be cheaper. They're giving us better specs at a lower cost. It's pretty crazy. Richard, are you asking about what's going in this build or what? Performance to cost. Honestly, the 5080 is worth it only because it doesn't have a competitor from AMD. You know, the 9070 XT doesn't quite keep up with the 5080. Come on. There you go. There. So that one, like, you know, if you want to spend more money and have more performance, like that's your option. The 5070 Ti, you know, has almost identical performance to the 9070 XT, you know, unless you're doing a bunch of like ray tracing and path tracing stuff, which, you know, some people do, but not everyone. So in that case, the 5070 Ti, like I would just get the 9070 XT instead and save yourself a couple $100. What up, Clutch? I live in Idaho in the US. What up, a lawnmower? How we doing? All right, so 7600X 3D installed. Got our 1 terabyte Gen 4 SSD in there. Let's get some RAM in here. Yeah, Kraken. So this is like, you know, mid-tier, I guess, for a new build. I mean, mid-tier can mean a lot of things depending on, you know, how you look at it. But, you know, it's kind of mid-tier in terms of like it's all new components. Newer generation components, but you know, kind of middle of the road on everything. But it's gonna perform super well with the X3D chip and a 5060 Ti 16 gig. The numbers I think on 1440p are gonna be really, really nice. You building the PC soon? Let's go. All right, let's get our RAM installed here. Yeah, I've never used ray tracing or path tracing, but again, I don't play like cinematic type games, so, you know, it's not something that really matters to me at all. Yo, Hostile Mex, thank you for the follow. Whoever building this is rich. I mean, I'm building it. This is gonna be a ready to ship system that's gonna go onto Java. Java.gg. We've got our account set up and stuff. I need to create our first listings and get it going. Yeah, this is nowhere near as expensive as you can go with a gaming PC. I don't have a new job yet. Nothing. I had a thing like, you know, we were working on it and then they kind of changed their mind about what they want to do with the job, so we're kind of in limbo right now. All right, so this uses the standard AMD clips, so we don't need to touch that. Awesome, love that. All right, cool. Get all this junk out of here so I can get this out. There we go. We're gonna have to put that stuff on there. We don't need the rest of this. It's all for Intel. i7-4770. It's getting a little old there. Hopefully it does what you need it to. What up, Bonduke? How we doing? Giuseppe, what's up? All right. that's everything onto the motherboard. So we'll set that aside for a minute, and we'll get our case out here. And here is the case. This one's pretty cool. So on top of, like I was mentioning, this one is very similar to, say, the Montech XR or the Thermaltake View 270. One nice, cool feature that this has that those don't have is it actually has an RGB strip along the front here. So just a little extra pizzazz in this one that you don't get in the others. 16 gigabytes of RAM, 500 gig NVMe, GTX 1070, 500 watts, 80 plus. It'll do the trick, man. It'll do the trick. I mean, it just kind of depends on what you're doing with it. Get this freaking box. Oh, did they really do that to me? Okay, fine. You literally have to remove the hard drive case to get, or the hard drive bay to get the accessories out. Annoying, but not the end of the world. Only takes a couple seconds. All right, so we got that. Let's get this guy out of the way. This little bundle of wires that we'll have to plug in later. All right, we are set up for an ATX board already. Love that. All these fans are pre-wired. It's great. All right. Slap this guy in here. Okay, there we go. I forgot. I haven't built in one of these cases in a while. I forgot just how many zip ties they include in this. Look at that. That's all zip ties that come with the case. Jeez, I forgot. Well, we're not gonna run out. It's been a minute since I've built with this case. Forgot they do that. T-Man, what's up? All right, get all of our bolts out of there. Oh, why is my nose itchy? All right, there we go. Bennett Co, what's up? Welcome in. Let's get this motherboard bolted down. My Spanish is pretty weak, so don't know what you're trying to say there. It looks like an advertisement to me, but I don't really know. Also, be careful with just an 80 plus standard power supply. A cheap power supply can cause more problems than it solves by being cheap, you know? Light 4X, what's up? Did I grab one too many bolts? I guess I did. Doing good, how are you? Glad to hear that, 4X. What's everybody up to on this fine Saturday? I usually don't build on Saturdays, but you know, took too much time off this week after driving back from Loop Fest. Felt like I needed to get on it, you know? All right, there's our motherboard install. Oh, what the heck? That camera like reset for a second. Okay. Alrighty, got all that stuff in there. It's time to get Susan out here. Also, if you guys didn't notice, we're using one of my Redneck Engineer mouse pads, one that we used at Loot Fest. You know, you can get those on the website if you're interested in a new mouse pad. Them are available. Hold on. Is that actually something that needed to be moderated? Nice stream. Hey, thank you, RamTC. I don't know why that got auto-modded. I didn't do that, but appreciate it. Just the classical boredom. Yeah, you know. Such is life. Such is life. All right. So, yeah, this actually looks pretty nice. Not a ton of depth back here, so we might have to be a little bit careful. Just making sure we don't make the bundle of cables too thick. We don't want to, you know, make the back panel bulge, but you know, I got some nice tie-off points. Looks pretty good. All right, we'll take that zip tie off too. I don't need that. It'd be nice to have access to everything. All right. Let's get our HD audio first. It's this guy here. All the way over to the corner. Boom. Get our USB 3. It's usually somewhere over here. So USB-C there, USB 3 is at the bottom. Okay, okay. I see you, I see you. USB 3 right down there. All right, USB-C was up here. Yep. Let's see which way that is. No, not that way. Okay, there's that. Okay, so we got our pre-installed fans here. So those are all sort of connected. Looks like we've got two separate fan cables to plug in. Should have one down here. Yeah, system fan right there. Okay. And then we've got our front panel connector here. We can plug in right next to that. Okay. Just like that. What else do we got to plug in? So we've got, this is the rear fan. It's weird that that's not tied in with the rest of them, but you know, whatever. Probably just doesn't reach. All right, so what do we got for fan headers? We've got CPU fan, pump fan. We got another system fan here, another system fan there. Got more at the bottom, but I don't think this is gonna reach all the way across and all the way over to the bottom where we would plug it in. So we're gonna use this guy here, and then we can kind of hide it behind our motherboard power cable when we get that installed. And this is going to be power and RGB for all of the case and case fans. Just like so. So SATA power is going to come from the power supply, and then this is going to be RGB control for all of the case fans. Let's see, so we got one down here at the bottom, and we've got one up at the top that we'll use for our CPU cooler. There's that. All right, can do a little bit of cable management right now. Again, the main thing I want to pay attention to is just making sure that we don't, for later on, we don't bunch up too much in this space here, because otherwise it'll be too thick and that back panel won't sit flat. So we just got to be a little bit careful with that. But let's grab some cable ties. We'll get started. What up, Rocket Man? How we doing? Good to see you. Do you plan on adding RGB? No, this will already have quite a bit of RGB. So we have the 3 pre-installed case fans with RGB. There's an RGB strip here. The CPU cooler block will have some RGB, and then there will be RGB on the top fans for the CPU cooler. So we really don't need to add RGB. It's already got a decent amount. Okay. Doing good? Good to hear. What up, Bruce? Similar build to your test bench build. Hey, there we go. Okay, fine, we'll go that way. Yeah, don't get a cheap power supply. You'll pay for it in the long run. A good power supply also, like, especially if you size it well, you know, they're good for like 7 to 10 years. Like, they're under warranty for 7 to 10 years. Like, I gotta move this guy so it's not wrapped around that. So like, if you get a good power supply, you can use it for long after like the specs in your current build are, you know, replaced. So I mean, depends on the person, but you know, in a build like this, it didn't really make sense to like spend more money on the system to increase the amount of RGB, you know. We'll try adding this into this bundle here for now. If it becomes too thick, we'll figure something else out, but why does it keep RAM? I don't know what it's doing. It keeps deleting, auto-modding your comments for some reason. I don't understand. YouTube's being a little weird. Sorry about that. At least I'm seeing them before they get auto-modded. I'd rather cheap out on a CPU or RAM, just get at least a good known PSU. Yeah. The other thing you can do with like power supplies is you can go to the PSU tier list. There's a really, really good, very extensive Excel, like online Excel doc that will tell you just how good or bad pretty much every power supply you could find on the market is. Like, super useful. I use it. It's very, very helpful to have that information, you know? Okay. Should I switch to Twitch if I'm getting auto-modded? I don't think it's auto-modding you. It's auto-modding RAM TC. You're welcome to switch to wherever if you want. But it's not happening to you. It's a big lazy Susan. I know I needed it to be big enough to hold, you know, any PC that I build, so I made sure that it was very goodly sized. Kiaka Bao. I'm sure I said that wrong. Thank you for the follow. Look at me, I read all of the... I'm caught up on all the comments. It's crazy. Look at me go. And I'm, you know, making progress on the build while doing it. That's why I'm a professional. I'm a professional, chat. In case you didn't know. Alright, so we got all that kind of managed a little bit. You know, we'll do more as we get more stuff in here, but let's get some power cables installed and keep moving forward. So we'll get our CPU and motherboard power cables first. I think our GPU only needs a single power cable. Yep. I hate to see people getting outpriced to get into PC gaming. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you know, nothing we can do about that. No sort of legal ramifications for them to, you know, increase prices like they are, so. I mean, it really comes down to supply and demand. There's still, you know, a very similar demand for computers, like consumer computers, but the supply of consumer RAM and SSDs has dropped significantly. So, you know, it is what it is. What do you think of the new Battlefield? I mean, Warzone. Honestly, I enjoyed it. I played it for a good bit yesterday, and I enjoyed it. It does seem to be very similar to. It kind of feels like a mashup of Battlefield, PUBG, and Warzone. Motherboard power, we definitely need that. CPU power, we need that. And we have a PCIe power in here. What is that? That's PCIe power. Okay. That is also PCIe power. We don't need two. Interestingly, they combined Molex and SATA on both of these cables. Weird. All right. Well, let's get started. CPU power. It was awful at first, but they're trying to fix it. Honestly, I didn't think it was awful. I enjoyed it. You know, maybe I just didn't. Maybe, you know, I didn't have super high expectations. I enjoy that style of BR where there's a lot less, you know, dependency on having, you know, the best meta loadout and more dependency on just good, like, gunfighting and stuff. Yeah, I like that part of it. All right. So this is gonna go over here. Shouldn't need to use this for the CPU cables, so we'll just go straight for it. Or the CPU cooler cables. Just got 3 ads in a row. I'm sorry. I don't really control. I mean, I guess I kind of control them in a way, but it is one of the few ways to make money on YouTube. So I do apologize. Nice PC though. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you stuck around. I appreciate that. I know ads are annoying. I feel for that. Maybe I need to turn down the number of ads. I think I can do that at least. All right, CPU power. Let's go motherboard power. Eric, what's up? Thanks for coming in. Okay, so our motherboard power in. Yeah, I've heard they've like adjusted the loot and stuff in the new mode. But honestly, like I know Chad and Rytech were complaining about it a little bit, but I was enjoying it, so doesn't bother me. Yo, thank you for the rose, Ema. Appreciate you. All right, so got all that in there. Time to get our power supply installed. So let's get our other cables. Plug those in. So this is our PCIe cable. Interestingly, oh no, it does split on that side. Okay. All right, so it's gonna sit down like that. We'll do this guy here. For that guy, do this guy here for that guy. We'll do motherboard over here. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna get our SATA cables. Ads weren't a huge problem all along. It's just annoying how these companies are trying to squeeze in every second of ads these days. Remember seeing 3 40-second long Twitch ads pretty recently? Yeah, Twitch ads are wild. I think on Twitch I'd like have zero control really, which is crazy. All right, so we gotta squeeze that up there. Just kind of scooch that over that way. Okay. Those cables up there for now. Get our bolts for our power supply out. This is going to be sold. Well, hopefully it'll sell. McLean, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. PCs are too expensive to give away these days. Yeah, and I mean, I'm not a big enough, like I don't have a big enough business or YouTube channel or whatever to be giving away PCs anyways. Saw a similar build on Newegg for 1K. No, there's no way. Just the CPU and GPU together on this build are about 1K. Okay, got that. Let's get our SATA. Oh, that's Molex on that one. Okay. Okay, we can leave that out for now. We'll tighten all this stuff up down here once we get the GPU installed and we know how much length we need on our GPU power cable. All right. All that's in there. Oh, I did have another RGB over here. Oh well. All right, let's get our CPU cooler in here. This should go in pretty quick. Thermalright does a really good job. They pre-install the fans onto the radiator, and on this one, it just uses the built-in AMD brackets, so that'll go pretty quick too. So it won't take very long. What up, Silas? All right. This guy needs to go onto our pump. So this guy's gonna sit like that. Okay. Just like that. That's DDR4. DDR4 is definitely going to make a difference. And yeah, it's not the same build. Every single bit of that is different, and it's going to make a difference in performance. Also, knowing those companies, it probably has the cheapest motherboard you could find and a super cheap power supply. Because I've seen those builds before, and it's kind of pathetic, the quality of the parts that they use for the stuff that isn't, you know, CPU, GPU. I mean, every part you mentioned is like very different. I don't know that I would be able to consider those similar. Yeah, Newegg's in-house company is going to be able to do everything cheaper just because they have everything at wholesale cost. All right, let's run this to the back. Let's run this guy to the back. That guy in there. This other fan cable through there too. All right, there we go. We'll mount that about kind of in the middle so it doesn't look like it's super out of place. I know some people don't like having a 240 millimeter AIO in cases that could fit a bigger one, but at the same time, it just doesn't really make sense to spend the extra money on one when it is super unnecessary. All right. Yannick, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you for those likes on TikTok. I can only see gaming something. It might be Gaming Gandhi. Placed your Asus laptop screen. It was so easy. Got the screen off eBay for 50 bucks. YouTube helped me fix my laptop. Show me running back to normal again. Hey, I love that. Yeah, I had to do that recently too for a buddy of mine. The ratchet sound. Ain't that, I love the ratchet on this thing. It's so nice. It is. I don't know why TikTok cuts off your guys' names. It doesn't make sense. Like, I don't have anything, like, I can't make that chat bigger. And it used to be every time I would pop out the chat, it would, like, stop working, so. I don't know how to fix that, but just do my best to guess. It is the LTT screwdriver. I've had it for, shoot, probably 3 years now. Maybe even a little longer than that. All right, so we got that in there. Throw this guy back on. Come on, that magnet is strong. Go. All right. Now we can get this guy. It's our fan header for our CPU cooler fans. I got that one there. This one, it's actually far enough over. We might just do it through this guy here as well. That way it reaches easier. All right. I'm gonna do that with the RGB too, just because it is all the way over there. Okay, there's our RGB. Gonna daisy chain these two. Okay, I'm gonna leave these out for now. Well, actually, we got plenty of space. I'll run this over. Plug in our RGB right here. Just like that. Okay. Now all this stuff that is in here right now is plugged in. Let's loosen that for a sec. Got this stuff just kind of stuffed in there for now. Okay. There we go, there's all that. And then we'll get our pump in, which means we need to get some thermal paste on there. Whoa, what happened? Bro, read chat. I see it now. Hold on. It doesn't tell me on here. Did somebody raid us? Did we just get a raid on Kick? What up, everybody? Moved to Miami. No, thank you. This stream's boring. I'm building a PC. What do you mean? How we doing? How long I've been streaming? Since 2020. Is this 21 questions? I mean, it could be, I guess. Do I like Ken Carson? I don't know who that is. Do I watch anime? Not really. My name isn't Jay. My name's Redneck Engineer. I think we got raided or something. What's going on here? Oh my gosh, it's going so fast. Are we getting a weekend collab? My biggest goal is streaming? Say you got 10K viewers. What? Hold on a second. I need to see what happened over here. Give me a second. What is going on over here? It doesn't tell me. It doesn't tell me that somebody raided me. You guys are going nuts though. I love it. How am I supposed to read all this chat, you guys? Ask him about his ex. Well, I've been married for 8 years, so it's been a long time. They're just yapping. Everybody's yapping. I love it. Craziest thing that's happened on stream, someone dropped a $500 dono. Bro, this chat, I can't keep up with this chat. This is... W or L stream. I don't know. I don't know. It's literally scrolling so fast I can't read it, you guys. I don't know how anyone reads the stream. All right, we're just gonna keep going because I can't even read that. If I had 10K right now, what I'm buying? I'd probably rebuild my gaming PC. It's all custom water cooled and stuff. I mean, I built it originally. It's all custom water cooled and stuff, but you know, it's getting a little bit older, so I'd probably do that. I am reading chat. It's going so fast. Do you guys not see how fast that's scrolling on Kick right now? I don't even know what's happening. Did I get put on front page or something? Did I get put on front page right now? I don't know what's happening. You could say money on green because we're building an Nvidia PC right now. Putting some thermal paste on this bad boy. Everyone's like, read chat. I literally can't read it fast enough. Like, I'm a good reader, but your message only stays on the screen for maybe 3 seconds if I try and focus on the one. Yeah, my chat on Kick is a little crazy right now, and I don't know what to do about it. How old am I? I'm 33. I'm an old man in the streaming world. What's your type in girls? My wife. Craziest thing that happened in school? I don't know. I haven't been in school in like over a decade. It's been 15 years since I was in school. Tell the story? What story? Favorite rapper? I don't really listen to rap at all. Shadow, thank you for the follow. What's my next bet? I don't know. It'll probably be on a UFC fight. I started streaming in May or so of 2020. I started building PCs in 2021, though. Apocalypse, I am reading chat. What do you think I'm responding to? You guys are crazy. I don't know what to do about this. I'm just going to go back to building a PC. I put this on backwards. See how distracting you guys are? I put this on backwards. Boom. Okay. Let's get these as loose as we can get them. Any upcoming trips? Nothing planned. I actually just got back from Loot Fest in Fort Worth, which is kind of like a tiny TwitchCon. Actually, Kick was at, like, Santa Maria was at Loot Fest a couple years ago. It was pretty cool. I got to meet him. Come on. You guys got me all nervous now. There we go. There we go. Got it. Nailed it. Should he react to videos? Ken Carson on top. Who is Ken Carson? I need like 30 people to tell me who Ken Carson is in a row. How many viewers are you trying to hit? I don't know. Don't really think about the viewers. Plan on building a V100. Worried something. I do, like, I'm sorry if you're not on Kick chat right now. I don't think you understand what's happening to me, and we're riding the struggle bus a little bit right now. Is probably the gentlest way I could say what's happening. We are riding the absolute struggle bus. I can't tell if this is like a raid or if like I'm being, if I got botted. Like I don't understand what's happening, to be honest. I am lost. Wouldn't you be lost if you saw your chat moving this fast all of a sudden? When you normally have like 6 viewers on Kick? Wouldn't you be lost? I mean, at least I know what I'm doing on the PC build side still. Like I know what's happening there. On Kick, I have no idea what's happening. Rate your setup 1 out of 10. I'd say about 7. There's definitely stuff I could improve on my setup. It could be cleaner for one. Chat, ask him about his ex. Spill the tea. The stream's boring. I'm sorry you feel that way. This is a chill PC build stream, all right? Guys, what is happening? If you can have a workstation, Fuji Celsius, I need power supply. Send me one if you can. I cannot. Sorry, I can't send you anything. This has got to be botting, right? Like, there's no way this is all real. How many viewers does Kick say I have right now? Kick says I have 200 viewers. All right. If you're watching right now and... Oh, yeah, it's... This is a bot, for sure. If you're watching right now, type a bunch of W's in the chat to tell me that you're a real person. How about that? Just put a bunch of W's in the chat if you're watching on Kick and you're a real person. Dude, I don't even know what's going on. God damn it, you guys are all real people. I was really hoping that this was gonna be fake, you guys. I need to record this so that you guys can see how impossible it is to read this. How impossible, you guys. Just take a look at how fast that's scrolling, okay? You see that? You see how fast that's scrolling? It's not that I don't want to read your chats. It's that I literally physically cannot. My brain is not capable of keeping up with what's happening on Kick. And if you're not on Kick, I'm sorry, you probably don't even understand what's going on. You think you're chatting and I'm just ignoring you. I'm not. It's that your chat literally disappears within 2 seconds. It's gone. Like, I barely can even see that a chat came up before it's gone. It's not there anymore. So, you know what? What if we just pretend like there isn't a chat and I just sit here and talk about something? I don't know, computers probably. Because that's what I know about. I know about computers. I build computers. That's what we do here on stream. That's what I do for my business. I build awesome gaming workstation, everything in between computers. You know, Redneck Engineer. You can go find me on my website. You can go find me soon on jawa.gg. That's where this build is going to go. Get yourself a really nice, high quality, well-built, tested, ready to game PC. All right, cable management. Oh, that's not done. I was going to say cable management's done, but that's not done. I need to fix what's going on up here. Got to figure out what's going on up here. Ask if they know you. Does anyone actually know me, or did you guys all come here with zero pre-knowledge of who I am? One's in chat if you knew who I was already. 2 if you have no idea who I am. It's okay. I won't be offended. We'll see how long that delay is. All right, so we got all that in there. Let's get a GPU in here. How about that? Let's put a GPU inside. Everything else is already plugged in and done. He wants a new PC. Well, have him reach out to me. I don't remember what I said. I think I said ones if you've heard of me. Yeah, have him reach out to me. I can definitely. I don't think that is there. I don't think there's like whispers on Kick. I'll check it out and see if I can find an email for him too. But his name is I'm Jay Edwards, right? That's what it was. We're just chatting. Just chatting today. Build the computer. Why doesn't that want to open up? There's no tape on it. Get out of there. There we go. Spam that streamer's name again so I know what it is. Who's my favorite streamer of all time? Probably Stone Mountain 64. He's the guy who got me into streaming, actually. Like, I got into streaming after I found him. I'm famous? I'm not famous. I do have a lot of viewers right now, which is very much a surprise. But I'm not famous. Okay, I need everyone to just write the streamer's name that I need to find. Because that super long message made it hard to read. Jay doesn't read chat. Well, I can see why he doesn't read chat. If you guys are this nuts all the time, how do you expect him to read that? Matthews, thank you for the follow. Biggest donation I've ever got, I think it was 500 bucks. Got any collabs coming up? Nope. I feel like you guys think you're watching a different stream, but you're actually on my stream. Because I keep seeing people talking to Jay, but I don't see Jay in the chat. Worst job I ever had? I painted porches for a summer at an apartment complex. Need story time. I'm not much of a storyteller, you guys. I'm an engineer. All right, got all that off. I'm Jay Edwards is in chat. I'm Jay Den Edwards. I'm Jay Den Edwards. That's who I need to find. That's who I need to reach out to. Got it. Oh, there he is. I see it. His name's in orange. What's up, dude? I don't know how you deal with this level of speed in your chat all the time. I have multiple chats up, and I haven't seen a single comment from my other chats in a hot minute because this is nuts. But I appreciate it. I appreciate whatever you did to make this happen. I assume it was a raid. It sounded like they said your PC was failing, you need a new one. We can make that happen. We can get you a new one. Not for free, obviously, because I run a business. I got to make money. But we can definitely make that happen. And I build the best. Pretend I'm a celebrity? Oh, gosh. I should have just pretended I didn't see that comment because I don't know how to pretend to be a celebrity. Okay, so now I understand. You guys are chatting with Jay because Jay is in the chat, not because you guys thought that you're watching Jay's stream still. That makes more sense. That makes way more sense. Yes, Jay, would he live in LA again? Can't move too much, bro. I've seen you where I live. I need a new PC for my streaming, etc. Let's make something happen. I'm so down. All right, dude. Are you on like Twitter or whatever? Or I can send somewhere I can send you a message or an email. All right. Boom. GPU's in there. Which means now we know how much of this extra length we need to deal with. Let's get another cable tie. My mic's kind of low. It's like peaking on my side almost. Maybe I just don't talk very loud. I can talk louder though. Play a game, I literally can't play a game with my setup as is. This is what we do on stream. We just build computers. We're just here to build computers, hang out with people. All right, there you go. Mischief managed. This PC is done, you guys. I know you guys want to see like some games or something, but how would you like to see a freshly built PC power on for the very first time? How does that sound? Does that sound like something you guys want to do? There we go. All right. Here we go. Boom. Hold on, my camera freaks out sometimes if we're not, if I'm not in the frame because it's dumb. Okay, there we go. iPhone and Android. I have an iPhone. All right, who's ready to see this thing get powered on for the first time? Give Jay a PC. I can't give him a PC. I don't have that kind of money, you guys. We can work something out maybe, but I can't just give him a PC. All right, maybe you guys could put some money together to get him a PC. How about that? How about everyone gift Jay like 5 subs so he can buy a PC? You don't even have to give them to me. You give them to Jay so that Jay can buy a PC. How about that? How does that sound? Hey, Jay, thank you for the follow, by the way. All right, so as a reminder, for those of you who weren't in there earlier, so tiny. All right, for everyone who wasn't in here earlier, this system, we've got a Ryzen 5 7600X 3D, so it's got the 3D V cache, 32 gigs of DDR5, RTX 5060 Ti, 16 gig. We've got a 1 terabyte SSD, 240 millimeter cooler. Got the Fantex XT View and a 750 watt power supply with the MSI B850 gaming something motherboard. Here it is. Boom. There it is. In an hour and 10 minutes, we have a fully built working motherboard. Do I play controller or mouse? I play mouse and key. Call out a streamer, like in a good way or a bad way? What do we think of that, chat? What do we think of that? I love that 90% of the comments aren't even towards me. They're all still towards Jay. I feel like my chat's been taken over. Why your camera look different today? This is what my camera always looks like. This is what my camera always looks like, to be honest. And there is our sexy PC build for the day, you guys. What do we think of that? What do we think of that? W's in chat if you like this build. W's in chat if you think you would want to buy this build. I see some W's. Are you 18? I'm in my 30s, so yes. How long am I streaming today? I mean, this is the end of the build. And this is all we got. We're gonna be done. Have I ever been recognized in public? No. Someone said call Tyler. No idea who that is. What game will I be playing later? I don't think I'm gonna have time to play any games today. I'm gonna be, after this, we're gonna be putting windows and everything, setting this all up, start testing it, test some games on it to post the performance. And then we'll get some pictures and then we'll post it up on Jawa for somebody to buy. Can I get 5K? Like in dollars? No. Is there a cash or a pay option? So there, yeah, if you're based in the US, Mathis, I don't know what Jawa has. On my website, I have shop pay, so you can set up payments through a firm, or you can pay with card, PayPal, whatever you want to pay with. You can even pay with Apple Pay. Do I ever get tired of streaming? Not when I get to build computers. Somehow I still feel like a lot of these questions are not for me. Somehow I still get the feeling that a lot of these questions are still for Jay and not for me. How many hours do I stream usually? Usually just however long it takes to build a PC. So 1.5 to 2.5 hours. What up, Gamey Trucker Dad? My kick stream has gone absolutely insane. Yeah. What up, dude? Yeah, I got raided, and ever since my kick chat has gone absolutely nuts to the point where I can't really read what's happening. Let's just put it that way. Couldn't really read any of it. So, there's that. The chat is wild. I don't know what to do with it. All right. Well, that's the end of the build. We're done. PC's on. PC's working. We're gonna, you even got the green boot light. So we're gonna be, we're gonna move on to, I'm gonna start putting software on this thing, getting it all updated and ready to get shipped out. So, yeah, that's the end of the stream. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Hopefully everyone that's on Kick, hopefully you can talk to Jay at some point, because you're not talking to me apparently. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your day. Appreciate everyone coming in and chatting. I'm sorry for those of you on YouTube and Twitch who were trying to comment on stream, but I literally could not see anything. I apologize. I doubt this will happen again. But who knows? All right, y'all. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great night. Goodbye. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. I'm so sorry for everyone on YouTube. I really am. I wish I could have read your comments.